Okay, so this is part 2 of your review. Remember, I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I'm going to guide you through as much as possible. First one we're doing today is number 13. So the graph of the quadratic function is shown on the grid. So they give you this quadratic function. Remember this U shape that we call the parabola? Okay, that's a quadratic. Which equation best represents the axis of symmetry? So do y'all remember what the axis of symmetry is? Right? It's that line in the middle, right? So how can we find it? We find the curve, go directly to the middle of it, and it's that line right here, right? Like if I need you to cut along the dotted line. So remember the axis of symmetry, right? How is axis spelled? What letter did they use? Okay, so we know the axis symmetry is always the what? So I can eliminate G and J and then figure out, right? If the vertex here is here at 3, 2, right, you go over 3, then up 2 to get to this point. Which one is the X? Where does it cross the X? Okay, so you figure out that one, even though I pretty much did that one. Number 14, a graph of a quadratic function is shown on the grid. So again, they give us another quadratic. Which coordinates best represent the vertex of the graph? So remember, the vertex is always the curved point. Go directly in the middle. Okay, so remember all points are made up with the X, Y. So you always start here, you move left or right with the X first, and then up or down. Okay, so go on ahead. Where is the vertex located? What's the X? Then what's the Y? And then do your answer choices for that one. 15, which expression is equivalent? All right. So remember, anytime they give you an expression, it's everything minus the equal sign. You want to put the whole expression in, and what does equivalent mean? Equivalent means equal. What else does equal mean? Right? Equal. It also means the same. So how will we know if it's the same? Anytime you see the word equivalent, meaning they need to look the same, they need to be the same, meaning the graphs must match. Okay, they must be the same. So go on ahead, plug this whole expression into Desmos. So I'll go on ahead and do it as well. So pause the video, put in Desmos, and I'll go ahead and do the same. Remember, we don't use the letter B, we use what letter? That's right, we use X. Alright, so I went on ahead and put it in Desmos, so notice I put the entire expression in, except I didn't use a B, I used an X, okay? So it gave me this red line here, okay? So then I gotta figure out which one of these is equivalent, meaning it has to be the same, meaning my graphs need to match. So let's try one. I'll do one example. So I'll do F, negative 35 plus 30. Remember B, we use X. So it's going to be negative 35 plus 30B. Negative 35 plus 30. Again, we don't use B, we use X. So I plugged it in. Now, first of all, it gave me the same color, so it's kind of tricky. So we could change the color, hold down this little color spectrum. Where are you? Okay, it's not letting me change the color. There we go. Alright, now, you can clearly tell, if I zoom in, are these the same line? Are they touching? No, I know they're really close, and for some of you who are zoomed out, it's going to look like it is touching. So please zoom in, reset your home page, reset your calculator, make sure you know these are not touching. They're not the same line, so those are not equivalent. So now you can go on ahead and try G, H, or J anytime you see equivalent. All you got to do is match a graph. Okay, so then for number 16, which of the following is equivalent? Again, right, so they give you this whole equation. Okay, so if you're looking for something equivalent, again, they must be the same. Again, anytime you see that. So graph it. Let's look at it. So go on ahead, pause the video, put that in Desmos. Okay, I went on ahead and put that equation in Desmos, and it gave me this blue line. So you can go on ahead and try one of your answer choices. So I'll do one of them for you. I'll try A, y equals negative x plus 1. Y equals negative x plus 1. All right, did those match? Nope. Are they the same? Nope. So are they equivalent? Nope. Okay, so go on ahead, check B, C, and D, and go on ahead and get the answer for that one. The last two, 17 and 18. Okay, so number 17, give the function f of x. F of x equals -3, parentheses, negative x minus 5, plus x. What is the value of f of negative x? Remember, anytime you have a number in parentheses, f of a number, right? It's always f of x. They're asking, they want to know, what do you get out for the y when the x is what? So all you have to do, anytime you see this little notation, f of some number, they want you to plug this in, right? So plug all that in and look for it. So go on ahead and pause the video, type that into Desmos. Okay, so I went on ahead and typed the whole expression. I forgot to put the f of x. Okay, so it gave me this graph. So that's what it looks like. Basically, they want to know, what do you get out when you put in -4. So turn this into a table. All right, and you want to know, anytime the number is in parentheses, that's your x. Remember, the x is always in parentheses, so just look for that number. -4. And then what should you get out? You should get out a -1. So this would be a griddable. Okay, so I did give you the answer for this one. But just remember, anytime you see this notation, that's all you got to do is type it in, turn it into a table, and then look for whatever numbers in parentheses. Then that's what you get out. Always, always, always. All right, number 18. What is the solution to this equation? Remember, you have this side equal to this side. Okay, so this one again, how do we do that one? Remember, the minute you have an equal sign, you draw a line. You put one side in Desmos, then the other side. So go on ahead, put one side in. Remember, we don't use C, we use X. Okay, so go on ahead, pause it, put in Desmos. Okay, I went on ahead and put one side in, and then the second side in. Again, I used X, not C. So what are you looking for? You're looking for where the two lines intersect. So boom, it intersect right here at the point -2, -45. Okay, so remember, anytime you do this and you draw the line, you are looking for the intersection. Okay, so that where the two lines intersect. So this is just like an example. Right, it's going to give you an x comma y. Remember, anytime you're doing this, solving, you only want to look at the x value. Okay, we only see a c here, which again, we didn't use a c, we used x. So we only want to look at the x value. So when you find your intersection, only look at the x. And remember, there's no multiple choice, so this will be a griddable. Number 19. Actually, I'm going to do this one on the next video, so we'll just kind of wrap it up with this one. And the next video will be the back page.